Oh, hey guys. So this is Sylvia,
Valerie.
and today we're gonna. Well, I guess it's mostly me that's going to be talking. I guess in this situation, but we're gonna do another K time
Story time.
story time.
This is one of my favorite stories. Like, this is a story when I'm sad, I think about. And it's a little bit schadenfreude because it actually was kind of painful for her. But it makes me laugh so hard.
Now that I think about it, it's funny, but
At the time, she didn't think it was funny. At the time, I still thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But you suffered. We're like, it's okay. You can laugh at my.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
She's a
Like
good
it was funny. Like obviously, I would be dying if I was on the other end, but obviously, just being on the receiving end was just not fun. But it wasn't that. I mean, now looking back, it's like okay, whatever. But okay. Anyways, so this is a story of photo cards, basically. So as everyone probably knows, or if you don't know, well, in every CD, any K-pop CD you get, there's a photo card, okay? And usually, if it's a more than if it's a group, it's a random photo card. So, like for example, EXO's album definitely has
Any of the nine.
9 different members, right? Shiny's 5, obviously the lower number your group has, the more chance you have to get your favorite member. But in terms of EXO, obviously the chances are it's hard to...
1 of 9.
Yeah, it's 1 of 9 chances. And, especially since EXO sells, like, member CDs, so, like, there's 9 different versions. Or actually, there's, like, 18 different versions because they sell a Korean version and Chinese version. So really there's like, even a much lower chance of you getting your favorite member even then, and like all this other mumbo jumbo. But and I know, see, the thing is that I know if you pick another member, there's a more higher chance of getting your favorite member, right? But I just want the Kai version, so I just don't care, and I always buy the Kai version. So I never ever get Kai in my CD. So anyways, buying, so really before I wasn't really obsessed with photo cards as much, right? Like
No,
it wasn't
I didn't care at all.
But like after you being here for a long time,
When you see other people care, you suddenly start to care.
yeah, right, like you kind of you're like, oh, I kind of want it. And like especially if it's a good picture of your bias, you're just like, I want it, like I need it. It's almost like Pokemon cards, like you have to catch them all. Like
Holographic.
So, I didn't learn about trading until much later. So, what people do in Korea is you buy your CD, and what people do is that they go on Twitter and they trade online for the other member's photo card. So, like, especially in EXO's case, like, when a new album comes back out, whatever, people go on Twitter and they start trading. Like, oh, I have Dio and I want Sehun. Or like, I want Kai and I'll give you Chanyeol. So people do that. So during Exolution in Japan, I was able to trade, thankfully, in Japan for a Kai photo card. That was my first Kai photo card ever that I ever got. And so after that,
I get Kai stuff a lot.
She gets
I get Kai stuff all the time.
But
For her.
yeah,
I'm here for you.
I know, always. But so Sing For You came out in December. So
I love this story so much.
Sing For You came out in December, and obviously I wanted the Kai photo card. So I got both versions of Kai, and she got Chen and Sehun. So I got Xiumin and Suho. I think I got Xiumin and Suho, and you got Chanyeol.
I got Chanyeol.
She got Chanyeol and Xiumin.
Freaking Chanyeol.
Also, the photo cards have 2 different versions, actually. There's a K version and an M version. And I found out that actually the only difference is the back. Like, the picture is still the same, but the back is a different color, and I think they write a different message or something. Anyways, but it matters. So
to a lot of fangirls.
It's a lot of fangirls, and it's a lot of different versions, right? So I had Xiumin and Suho, I think, and Suho, sadly,
it's so sad.
He's one of the least popular members in EXO.
It's so sad.
It's so sad because he's like honestly adorable, and he's a leader, and he like takes care of the members. He like cares a lot about the fans and stuff like that. They all do, but like Suho's like you know, I don't know. He's so cute and he looks so good in Tokyo Dome when he stripped. I mean, come on. But he's still the least popular member, so it's much harder to trade for to get him to be traded for another member. But Shumin is actually really popular in Korea, like super popular. I didn't really know this until I came here, but he's really popular in Korea. So a lot of people want his photo card, and I was like, great, I got Shumin. I could probably easily trade this for Kai, because Kai is pretty popular as well. And so, obviously, in order to get Kai, you probably have to trade him for a Shumin or a Sehun. Really, those are the only ones. Chan, sometimes. Baekhyun, sometimes. Like, it depends, but it's mostly Shumin and Sehun that people are looking for the most,
He's like the Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah. The EXO cards.
Yeah. So, like, anyways, so I put on Twitter that I had Shumin's version of Sing For You, and I think it was M that I had, or K or something. Anyways, I had his version, and I wanted Kai. And then a girl messaged me on Twitter, and like it wasn't even that much long after, like someone messaged me right away, and she's like, "Oh, like I have Kai, and it's this version, and I don't care about."
It's all in Korean, right?
Yeah,
this whole conversation's in
Korean.
Korean.
It's all Korean.
She posted in Korean, like everything.
Yeah, so she asked, like, I have it, and I have this version. I don't really care about the versions. It's the same picture. And I really wanted this photo card in particular because he had the curly hair, and I really liked his curly hair during Sing For You. And he's wearing that pink shirt where he's from the music video, the one where he throws the stuff at the mirror and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I want this. So I was like, great, I want it. I was like, can you meet? And she's like, no, I can't meet. I can only, I live in somewhere, Busan or somewhere else. She lives not near Seoul, like she lived far. She's like, oh, but we can ship it to each other. We can like send through shipping and stuff. And I was like, through an envelope, okay? And I was like, oh, this whole thing is happening in Korean, by the way. And I told her, I was like, my Korean is not like good, but she kept on speaking Korean, so I was just like kind of I was like, okay, I'm just like kind of trying to translate, sending Mallory like, what do you think this means? Anyways. So we made the plan to like send like envelopes to each other to mail it out to each other. And so the next day I first of all I have to find this post office, right? So I go to the post office, you know, I have to find where to get an envelope, and then I have to figure out how to like send an envelope. I've never sent an envelope before. And so like I had to figure all this stuff out. So finally I figured out how to do it. And before then, because I was so grateful that she was willing to trade for me, I like put in stickers that I got from like another concert. I was like, oh, here, you can have these stickers. And she's like, oh, thank you. Like all cute. And I was like, wow, this girl's so nice and stuff. So I like put in stickers and I put in the photo card in the envelope. And I didn't know how to write her address in Korean. So obviously, like she sent me her address in Korean. Obviously, I didn't trust myself enough to like write it properly in Korean, not mess something up. So I asked the woman at the counter when I was like going to ship it out to write it for me. So she writes the address for me on the envelope, and then I send it to her. I send the girl the receipt, and it was that's all. Like I sent her the receipt to prove that like, and it had a tracking number and everything. I was like, okay, I sent it, and she's like, oh, okay, good. Like she's like apparently was still in school or something like that. So like she was like, oh, I'll send it in the afternoon, and then sure enough, in the afternoon she sent me a picture of her receipt, so she sent it to me. So emailing in Korea is like really fast, right? And the next day she had got the Shumin card. So the next day I wake up to a series of angry messages in Korean, and I was like, I'm not an early morning person, so I like wake up, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I start reading them, and it's like, oh my god, how could you do this to my precious baby card? Like, how could you write on top of the envelope? Next time you can't write on top of the envelope. And I was like, what is going on? Then she sends me a series of pictures, okay, of what was going on. So it took me a little bit, but then I finally realized that I didn't think about this, but apparently they think about this. So I put in the card in the envelope, and the girl had written on top of the envelope. So you know when you write on top of something, indentations happen? Well, the address that the woman had written for me was apparently indented on the envelope. And she sent me like 2-3 pictures of proof shots that this card was indented on, and that this was like this was a very big crime, and that like she was really angry, and she's like, what is, like, she's like, what is this? How could you give this to me? And I was like, oh my god. Like, this is part of the culture that I'm trying to understand. I mean, I get it. Like, I get it. You don't want your stuff to be kind of ruined. You don't want it to be dented. You don't want it to be, like, ripped. But, like, it wasn't that, I don't know, like, personally for me, like, it wasn't that indented on, right?
Well, the other thing was she was pissed.
She was, like, really
like,
pissed.
It wasn't like,
yeah.
I don't want this anymore. It was like,
she was
not very nice words.
She was mean. If she had been more nice about it, they'd be like, fine, like, I understand. Like, I mean, I still felt bad, even though she was, like, mad at me. Like, she was really angry using that kind of, like, whatever. But, like,
so funny.
But I was kind of like, well, I'm sorry. Like, and so, like, anyways, I read the messages, and then I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I sent her, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, and I put a bunch of, like, sad faces and stuff. Because, like, in the end, like, okay, like, I should have known. Like, I mean, these girls, they're hardcore. I mean, they take their shit seriously. They wrap it in, like, box. Like, they put special cases for their photo cards. Like, they have these special things. They like, laminate. Like, they take care of their shit. And so, like, I should, like, anyways. So, like, she was pissed, and I was, like, just really sorry. Like, I'm sorry that this happened. I personally don't care enough for my card to be written on, but anyways, so she's like, I want to exchange, like, I want to trade back. And so I was like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. And I was like, but the Kai envelope that she had sent still hadn't come in. So I was like, yeah, but okay, but he still hasn't come in. She's like, okay, like, when he comes in, let me know. And I was like, okay, fine. And the problem is, because of our work hours, we don't get packages. We miss the delivery man. So, like, oftentimes, like, they have to leave it at the security office or something. So, for the next few days, like,
This was a saga. Like,
yeah, okay,
it just kept getting worse.
For the next few days, I would constantly check my mailbox in my man, and, like, I already have a history with my mailbox and post office people, like, of bothering their lives. Like, they know my face. They know my room number. They know everything about me. So every time I come in, they kind of like, oh, shit, it's you. And they're like, oh, no, it still hasn't come in. It still hasn't come in. I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm always messaging to this girl. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, it still hasn't come in. Like, I'm not lying to you, I swear. And then she's like, okay, whatever. Just tell me when it comes in. And I was like, finally, by the end of the week or the next week, I was like, look, it's still not here. I don't know what, like, you know. And she's like, okay, I'm going to check. And so apparently, because I hadn't been there, like, they had sent it back. Okay, so, like, since the receiver wasn't there, they were going to send it back to her. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, so she's like, okay, so apparently it's going to be sent back to me. So when it gets sent back to me, I'll message you, I'll show you a picture, and then you can send me back. And then, or like, when it comes back to me, when her Kai card comes back to me, I'll give you back your Shumin card. At this point, I was like, I wanted to be like, you can keep him. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, I was kind of like done with this whole situation.
It was supposed to be a simple trade, and it got it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so I was like, you can just keep him. Like, but I didn't. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So finally, after a few days, like, Kai came in for her, and she sent me the picture, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to send you Shumin back. And I was like, okay, fine. Okay. Anyways, so apparently she sent out Shumin, but again, I wasn't home, okay? And then she, like, messages me. She's just like, why haven't you picked it up yet? Like, I'm getting messages or something that, like, you haven't picked it up and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not home. And she was always speaking Korean. I'm always speaking in English, so it's kind of, like, hard for both of our sides. We're like, we don't know. And then she's just like, okay, like, I'll call again or something. And apparently she's just like, oh, like, you have to, oh, no, okay, so this is what happened, sorry. So this exchange is going on, again, she's speaking all in Korean. So then I had asked our Kyuhyun friend, who speaks Korean really well, and I was like, look, like, I can't I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what she's asking from me. And so I was like, can you go on my Twitter, please, and like find out what's going on. And so she went on my Twitter and she thankfully like figured it out. So she was talking to her in Korean, figure out what was going on. And she was like, so then she told me, she's like, okay, like, you're right. Like, she had gotten Kai back. She sent out Chumin, and apparently it's at this post office in Suwon waiting for you. Like, apparently because you had missed it. Like, I don't know if they didn't contact me on my phone. Usually that's what they do. They left it at the post office, and they're like, you need to pick it up by this day, or else it's going to be sent back. And I was like, I can't have this sent back. Like, do you know how that's gonna look? Like, we're already having this conflict of like her not right. Like, I was like, no, if this gets sent back, I'm done. Like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, she's like, you need to pick it up by this day. Okay, so I was like, okay, fine. And we weren't even sure if I could pick it up that day because it said by this day, and I was gonna go pick it up by that day. So I was like, oh my god, is it gonna be there? And she's like, I don't know, but you're just gonna have to go early and see. I was like, okay, fine. So that day I go. So first of all, it's not in the post office beside me. It's in like the other end of Suwon, okay? So I had to take a bus, okay, to Suwon Station. And then from Suwon Station, because at the time, by the way, my phone was broken. So I had no data. Or like I didn't have any internet. So I had my phone, but I didn't have internet. So I didn't have access to to data. So I could only use Wi-Fi. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Suwon Station, and then I'm going to take a taxi to this place because I don't want to like get lost. So I take a taxi from Suwon Station to this place. And then I finally found it, okay? So I go and I get redirected. I bring in the slip, and they're like, oh, yeah, this here. So then I show her the slip, and all of a sudden, she brings out a box. Okay? It was like a small box. And I was like, what? Like, why is this in a box? Like, what the hell? And so I was like, oh, and then I also had to pay for it on top of that. So I had to pay for it because, like, anyways. I had to pay for the package, okay? It wasn't that much. It was like $4, but still I had to pay for it. So I paid for it. I'm like carrying this box, and I'm like walking out. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is it in a box? So I like tear open the box. I'm like, what is this? Like, and I'm expecting something else in there. I'm like, what's going on? And what do I find at the bottom of my box? But my envelope. Yes. So she had sent back my photo card in a box, even though she could have just sent it. I don't know if there was any miscommunication. Maybe she sent it in a box so it would reach me. I'm still not entirely sure why it was in a box, but it was in a box. And I was like, so I open up this box, and I find my envelope, so I open the envelope to find the Chumin card and my stickers. So, I mean, I get it. Like, she probably didn't like me. I mean, obviously I'm some dumb foreigner that doesn't really know about Korean culture that much to know that not to write on top of the envelope. I'm sorry for my ignorance. But like, I gave you those stickers for you to keep. And like, she like just kind of gave it back to me, and I kind of felt like, oh, well, sorry. I guess you don't. I almost felt like she like threw it in my face.
Yeah,
it was like
I won't take your pity. I don't want that.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, yeah, and I was like, oh. So yeah, at the end of the day, I got my
all you had was a written on Chumin card, and you were $4 less rich.
Yes.
You lost $4.
Yeah, and this had gone over a span of like, this is 3 weeks.
It
now.
was weeks.
This is weeks.
It was weeks. This
entire saga. So I'd always be messaging, being like, I still don't have this card. I still don't have this. This girl's messaging me, and like, I have to go to this place now, and it's just this entire mess.
So, moral of the story: if you're gonna trade photo cards through mail, put it in a box.
Don't even do it at all. That's the moral of the story. Like, don't trade through. If you have to trade, go in person. Okay, yeah. Like, do it in person. Do not do it through mail. That's what I learned. I just, like, at the end of the story, I was like, I don't like photo cards anymore. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. I do care still.
You haven't tried to get Kai anymore.
I definitely have, like, been like, whatever. Like, guys, if you have to have that photo card, just meet in person. Okay? okay, that's really the moral of the story.
I think we should call these segments like crazy fangirl time.
Okay, crazy fangirl time.
Because we have a lot of, not crazy, fangirl time. Because we have a lot of experiences of fangirl culture that we just didn't
let's call it fangirl culture.
Fangirl culture.
Because fangirl time could be like...
Us fangirling.
Oh.
No, not that.
This
We're
is
talking about, this is Korean fan culture, things you should know
Yeah.
about Korean fan culture.
I mean, I understand, like, I get it, like, I shouldn't have written on top of it, but, like, I don't know, she was kind of mean. Like,
Here's your stickers back.
Yeah.
I don't
like,
want them.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. You can be mad at me, but you don't have to be, like, mean. Maybe I was translating it wrong. Maybe she wasn't actually being mean. I don't know. I don't know.
She was being mean. She was just really sensitive. She's probably young, too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I get it. You love Shumi. I love Kai, too. Like, yeah.
Anyway, so fangirl culture, tidbit, what not to do.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Sylvia stories.
Yeah.
One of so many. So many.
This happened in, like, December or January.
When
It was
Sing For You came
December.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that story.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Brightened your day.
Yeah. We have a lot more of these kind of stories of, like, random.
Just like learning like
Just
how
learning.
serious these girls are about their stuff. Like you do not mess around with Korean fangirls.
No. Especially not, like, hardcore fans. Like,
Especially XOLs. Do not mess.
yeah.
We could talk about those another time. We could have a
Yeah.
whole segment. We'll have a whole segment about
Crazy fans.
our
I mean, I
fangirl
guess
experiences.
we're under that category now.
We're
I mean,
becoming more and more into that category, and
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. I mean, okay, I don't think I would be mean about things. Well, I don't know. No, I wouldn't.
We're watching ourselves slowly like, fall into oblivion. You become, what you fight.
I know.
It's okay.
I know. Oh, God. Anyway.
Anyway, all right. See you later.
Anyway, see ya.